My name is Bob Miller. I was president of the American Association of Electrodiagnostic Medicine way back when, in the dark ages. And the biggest issue that was facing us in the time of my presidency was whether there should be some certifying agency for people practicing electrodiagnostic medicine. And we weren't sure how that should go, and so we decided to explore two different avenues. One was our own certifying board, the American Board of Electrodiagnostic Medicine, and the other was to explore the possibility of certification under the umbrella of the American Board of Medical Specialties. And I remember that we charged Dr. Jasper Dalby with the task of exploring certification under the American Board of Medical Specialties through the American Medical Association. And Dr. Dalby took that charge and ran with it, and over about a 5-year period galvanized support within the AMA and within the American Board of Medical Specialties to develop a special certification called Special Qualification in Clinical Neurophysiology that ultimately was developed under the auspices of the AAN, the American Academy of Neurology. The American Board of Electrodiagnostic Medicine was founded actually in a shorter period of time, and that has proven to be very useful to the organization as a way of certifying people who practice the specialty. It is a standalone board. It has run into some difficulty with acceptance in some states. And so the real challenge to us at that time was to try to predict which method of certification would be appropriate, since at that time our major task had been education, first, foremost, and really almost purely an educational organization. So the very idea of certifying people and certifying competence was something that was a new challenge to us as an organization, and I remember long and difficult and arduous debates among the board about which way to go on this, and as a result we decided to pursue both, and we never imagined that both would ultimately be successful, as they have. Some people have both boards, some people have one board, and some people have the other now. And that was an exciting time. One of the things that I learned, and I recall with really fond memories while being president, was the power of the board. I guess I imagined that the job of president would allow me to generate policy and make decisions for the AAEM. And I very quickly became aware that the board is a group of hard-nosed, bright, creative, innovative thinkers, each with very strong opinions. And the biggest lesson for me during the year of presidency was to realize that the board had to be considered, and that if one had a strong agenda, one had to lobby with the board. And in the end, the decisions made from the board were virtually always the right decisions. My faith in that group process grew enormously during my tenure as president. The other major thing that I learned as president of the AAEM is how quickly one falls from grace. And I remember feeling all of the heady excitement that comes with being the leader of an organization one year, and the very next year being relatively inconspicuous and a has-been. I was ready for that. It was, for me, a good transition, but it was a very exciting year being president of the AAEM. One of my fondest memories is dancing with Ella Van Lanningham in a boogie-woogie situation in Chicago with all of the board and the examiners standing around clapping us on. Ella, one of our wonderful executive directors, was also a great dancer and a wonderful human being. working closely with the staff was a great thrill as president of the AEM, because they're enormously capable people. And that certainly goes in spades for Sherlyn and for Tiffany and all of the current staff people at the AEM. Just fantastic people. Practicing medicine and practicing specifically neurology, which was my specialty, wasn't terribly different then than it is now. HMOs are much more prevalent now. Managed care is much more prevalent now. Reimbursement is much lower now. So that when I was president of the AAEM, it was a golden age. Everybody was reimbursing us well for the studies that we did. Very few people were refusing to have these studies done, and we were in the enviable position of being able to do anything and everything that we thought was right. So it was part of the golden era of medicine, and we felt very lucky in that regard. One of the greatest things that has happened for me out of my association with AAM, and also out of the time that I've been president of AAM, has been the friends and colleagues that I've developed in the field of physical medicine rehabilitation. In all other professional societies that I belong to, it's just neurologists. The chance to work closely with people in PM&R and to develop warm and lasting friendships with them has been one of the great aspects of my involvement with AEM, and this was particularly true during the year that I was president of AEM. Some of the giants in the field of physiatry are some of the great people that I know, and I am indeed privileged to count them now as friends. And that's it. I've answered my questions, and nice talking with you.